Hi there.
Hey,
Welcome
guys.
to the Friday stream.
What's up?
How's everyone doing?
Pretty good, man. What's up?
We're
What are you
joined
doing,
by
What's happening
our
down there?
stuffed dinosaur in a duck costume. Is that what that is?
It's not a stuffed dinosaur. It's a frog. What are you, crazy?
Oh, a frog.
It's a frog. It's
Oh,
that's
Reginald the
adorable.
frog. And
In a
he
duck
thinks
costume.
he thinks he can get away with the duck costume. That's why I love this guy, because he's pure balls. Like no one thinks it's a duck, but he doesn't care. That's right.
So,
What's up, everyone? Yeah.
so George, I don't think we told you.
Oh no!
Not that you
what
care.
now?
But Steve and Bob are coming over my house tonight because we decided to watch the original, Forbidden Planet, the movie.
Oh.
Yes, it's
All
one of the
right.
best science fiction films of all time.
It's
Is
funny.
it-
Just
Is
recently.
it really?
It is. Have you seen it?
Yeah. Is
It's
it
the-
really?
it's
Of
the
all
best-
time?
No,
Right at the time that it was in the theater.
Oh, at the time. Oh, at the time. Yes.
Yes.
For 1957. Yo,
Yes.
sure. Yeah, sure.
I still love it. It's good.
But
I mean,
and all the are very different.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
different.
well, wait, but if you have like a top 10 science fiction list, it's on my top 10.
No,
way. No.
not for objective quality. Only
No.
as isn't this
Right.
amusing because it's very
Historical
campy?
perspective and-
Yeah.
No.
Come
Check,
on. I actually, on some show, I forget what show I was watching, there was a poster in the background of Return to the Forbidden Planet.
what?
And I'm like,
Was-
whoa, I never saw that movie. Did they
But
make
the-
a Return to the Forbidden Planet? So I looked it up, and it's like an
They're pouring out?
album
Oh,
of
it's a
music.
record.
It wasn't an actual movie,
Oh.
but it's this wonderful retro 1950s sci-fi poster of what the Return to the Forbidden Planet would be like. Look it up. It's cool.
They just show the movie backwards. That's the return. It's
Yeah.
the same thing, but just backwards. Yeah.
Well, it's an incredible story, even though, George, you might not like the acting and the special effects.
Well, yeah,
the story
it's
is a
Sure.
remarkable
That's
science
true of the
fiction story.
Bible too. But whatever.
Yeah. No, it features characters that would be at home on a World War II destroyer.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is the guy from
The tough
any World War
guy.
II movie,
Yeah.
Right.
And it's got what's his name from that movie?
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen.
Mhm.
Leslie Nielsen.
Yes.
Which you can't watch Leslie Nielsen in a straight film anymore because
It's weird.
His delivery is identical to the comedic films. So you can't, because you're just waiting for the joke to land and it never lands. So you're
I
just
know.
kind of
Yeah.
waiting the whole time of like. 'cause
I am
he's just-
serious. And
it's the
stop calling me
same-
Shirley.
That's the brilliant thing of the whole Airplane movies is they got these actors that were not comic actors.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
said, deliver this as straight as you possibly can. And it's so crazy funny.
Yes, it is.
And you
But
see Robert Conrad in some other film somewhere, and you're just like, you're waiting for him to be the airplane joke, and it's not
Yeah.
coming. And it's
George,
2 hours
did you
later.
tell me this? That the airplane movie is almost a direct ripoff of some other movie.
No, it's called The 0 Hour, and it's shot for shot, costume for costume. They actually bought the rights to that film, and if you go on YouTube,
Yeah.
you can watch a
It's
side
amazing.
by side. They basically refilmed it and then added jokes, which is why it's so good, because the plot actually works.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
is, an hour and a half comedy is really hard to do because usually by the last 30 minutes, the plot is gone.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's very few examples of a really successful 90+ minute comedy where the comedy carries the story through. Airplane works because they just took this film wholesale and copied it, and it's almost like it's a riffing on a movie without the riffing in the movie.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's so
It's
smart.
brilliant. It's brilliant. And that was one of those movies where like kids all the way up to adults enjoyed it. It was funny for everybody.
Oh yeah. Silly to kind of heady to, and then there's that one shot of boobs, which is always
Yeah.
good.
No, I still laugh out loud watching that movie after
Yeah, me
years.
too.
I love when the guy comes down from the ceiling, like just completely nonsensical things, but they are, which is hard to pull off. I agree, because I've watched a few recent comedies. Like we're just hunting for shit to watch until some real shows hit television later this fall.
Yeah.
And we've watched a lot of fails. Like one episode, we're like, meh.
Yeah.
But there's this type of comedy out there now where they're like really trying hard to be over the top, like zany and everything, and it completely fails from my
hard.
perspective. Like it's like
really
that
hard.
is not. I'm not even chuckling. There's just not. I'm like uncomfortable watching this whole thing. It's just bad.
Yeah, people like trying to be funny
Yeah.
can be so painful. And that, again, that's why the airplane things are so great, because they got these, surely you can't be serious.
Yeah.
Don't call me.
Shirley.
Leslie Nielsen says, "Don't
that-
call me Shirley." A comedic actor would be like, "Don't call me Shirley."
Yeah,
whereas
yeah,
he's
yeah.
just
I am serious. Stop
It's-
calling me Shirley.
stop
Yeah, I mean,
calling
it's,
me- it's
Yeah,
just
that case
so
file
good.
is serious.
How long ago was that movie? To this day,
1980.
nobody can say, surely you can't be. I mean,
Yep.
and we
Yeah.
say it to this day. We say
Yeah.
that. There's some things we
surely you
just
can't be serious.
that are just hardwired. They're just completely hardwired in our heads.
Someone just mentioned Top Secret, which was the film after Airplane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is Val Kilmer's first movie. That's another one that's, I think, almost in some ways it's not better than Airplane, but
Really?
as a film,
I don't remember it.
oh, it's
I remember
great.
it. It was
yeah,
great.
Val it's like a 50s spy movie and surf movie, and yeah, Val Kilmer's great because he totally plays it straight. He's clueless that he's telling jokes. It's really good. There's like good music sequences too.
Mm.
Very funny.
Did you watch The Naked Gun? Remember that?
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
that-
I remember my dad not
Yep.
being able to breathe.
Yeah.
That's
That's rare, man. That's
the
rare.
dentist, there's like a dentist scene where he's got Leslie Nielsen's in the chair and he's like, he's got all this like slobber coming out and he's trying to like pull the spit out with the little thing. He keeps drooling on himself. And then at one point the dentist comes in and the dentist is suspected of murder or something. And Leslie starts attacking him, but he's got this thing in his mouth. So he sounds like the Elephant Man. So he's doing this whole thing of like, and the guy's like, "You're an animal." He's like, "I am not an animal." And my dad, he was like, he couldn't breathe. And the fact that my dad couldn't breathe was so funny to me because I've never seen him laugh that hard. So I was just in tears, absolute tears. That holds up too. Yeah, it's like only 6 episodes too. It's only
short-lived.
Oh my God! Do you remember at the end? Typically on a show like that, they would freeze at the end. I mean, they would freeze the frame, but on that, the actors froze, and
then
they're
they
trying not to swallow.
And
And
he's
Oh
pouring
my
coffee,
God, I haven't
and
thought
the
about
coffee's
that in a
running
long time.
over and everything. And then
Yeah.
the one guy
man.
realizes the scene's happening, so he walks in and tries this pose, and then he tries this pose, and he tries this pose. Oh, it's great.
Do you remember the sequel to Airplane? I remember. My memory is that it was not nearly as good, and I think they didn't hire the same people. It was like this.
Some of them, but it was a lot of recycled jokes. So you had heard the Shirley joke, you had heard the "you can't be serious" stuff, and it just recycled it. I mean, Shatner's in it, which is good. He's got a couple of good lines.
Yeah.
He looks into a thing and sees the Enterprise at one point, and he's just like, which was kind of funny. As a kid, that was funny.
George, let me ask you a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
You like movies about gladiators?
Again, Peter Graves, like one of the
Yeah.
most serious guys, basically trying to molest this kid in the cockpit of all places. It's just so
It's
stupidly
insanity.
funny. You ever seen a grown man naked?
Ever seen a grown man naked?
The speaking jive scene to me as a kid, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
I found out that those two actors wrote the dialogue. They wrote everything. They said,
Oh.
the producers.
The script was just speak drive, and that was the script.
Yeah.
We don't know what to write here, and they were like, "We got it," and they killed it.
But then it's the mom from Leave It to Beaver.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's the woman, like, who's chump don't want no help, chump don't get no help.
Get no help.
It's like, what? And she's playing
Oh.
it straight too, which is just
Yeah.
so good.
All right, so there was a storm.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
And guess what, guys? Because when it storms outside, guess what happens in my yard?
Trees come down.
A tree comes down.
Your bank account empties? Is that what happens, Jay?
Yeah,
that's the corollary to it.
Nature is cashing
trees
in
go
on
down.
me. Yeah, I got 2 trees more down in my yard. That's we're up to like 14, 15 now.
Do you have any
ridiculous.
left?
Yeah, just that my yard gets bigger every time this happens. Because I cut the tree down and I got to mow more, you know.
Well,
so Sunday I got to go out there with the chainsaw and try not to kill myself, getting rid of this mess.
Let's do the live show first, Jay, and then you can chainsaw away.
Yeah, you're right. So, but you know, this I can't help. I put a post up on Facebook, joking around about like this storm is kind of like the rapture. You know, like what's the difference? They're so freaking similar.
Yeah, Philadelphia was unbelievable.
This is like, yeah. Did you see the
676?
The highway
676 was flooded.
There were
It looks
people
like
swimming,
Venice.
and they were like 4 feet from the highway sign, which are usually 20 feet off the ground. Ridiculous. And now I have to ask, not that anyone has a perfect answer, but this certainly seems like global warming to me. You know, the storms intensity is getting worse more frequently. You know, the flooding is getting out of control.
Hey, look, everyone ripped Al Gore a new one 18 years ago when he made that film. And literally the footage that they had from that, like the proposed footage of what might happen to Manhattan happened on Wednesday. So it's like, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Shit up, man, bear, pig.
Yeah, right. Oh, God, it's still funny. But the insanity that's going on in the U.S. politics, you know, I don't even want to get into
this. Straight to that now.
I don't know. Should we even talk about it?
It's been 12 minutes, Jay, so let's go. Yeah.
Let's talk about Texas.
Right.
No, maybe we shouldn't. Or we can talk about the fact that Joe Rogan has COVID.
Yes, let's talk about Joe stinking Rogan, this guy. I read a webpage that showed that lists all of the nasty things that he said, like just in like the last year on his show. I didn't realize, because I don't watch his show, but I just didn't realize how horrible this guy is. I mean, I've had a beef with him for a long time, but he's even worse than the data I had collected on my own. He really is like he's not following science at all. He's giving out really bad information. You know, he's just not a good person. I hate to say it. But he
says, I have no responsibility to say anything that's correct or not correct. It's just a conversation.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just a comic. I'm just
a
comic. Yeah. So, yeah, he did.
And he's being canceled. You know, that's the big thing is that, he's up against, you know, it's very hard to have an audience these days. The guy who has 100 million downloads a week or whatever. Yeah. It's very hard for a white guy to have an audience, a white male.
Yeah, you poor thing.
To have an audience. Yeah. It's talk about straddling. It's like they want guys like that. They want the worst of all possible worlds, to be seen as an underdog, but also to be seen as the best, to be seen as being innovative and like at the front end of conversations. But at the same time, I'm only asking questions.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh yeah, come here and have your mind expanded and blown, but I'm only asking questions.
Yeah, I love
it's
that.
Like,
he really is completely full of shit. He's not even consistent with his own inner bullshit. Like he like says that his body is, his body will heal himself and all this crap. The guy is like,
do bodies do that?
Choking down, more supplements than
and now that he's sick, he's taking every experimental drug out there. So he's taking the deworming medicine. I hope that works for him.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had worms too. Jeez.
Yeah.
No, but of course he's also taking the super expensive antibodies, which actually work.
Right, because he's got the money, so he could take the actual.
And more on what you were saying, George. I mean, this guy's got a tremendous audience, and I hate to be corny, but with that's power, and responsibility comes with that power. And
do you guys want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth?
The horse's mouth. Good one there, Ian.
Bada boom.
Hello, friends. So I got back from the road Saturday night, feeling very weary. I had a headache, and I just felt run down. And just to be cautious, I separated from my family, slept in a different part of the house, and throughout the night, I got fevers and sweats, and I knew what was going on. So I got up in the morning, got tested, and it turns out I got COVID. So we immediately threw the kitchen sink at it, all kinds of meds, monoclonal antibodies, ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone, everything.
So, Steve, what are those? Are those legit?
So the prednisone is legitimate, but usually reserved for sicker people, like hospitalized people. The monoclonal antibodies or I don't know if they were really monoclonal antibodies or if they were just immunoglobulin. Sure, that works as well, a little bit. I mean, it's like one of these experimental, very expensive treatments, not really the kind of thing that you can give to the average patient. That's what Donald Trump got when he got sick with COVID.
Yeah, it's a heavy hitter.
It's a heavy hitter, but that works. Ivermectin does not work. The evidence overall is not supportive of that. So yeah, probably like Trump, he'll be fine because he got the privileged rich man treatment. But I don't know. Does anybody know? Is he vaccinated?
No, he's not.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just seeing
just
right
worked
here.
out a lot.
It says that he tested negative recently.
Mm-hmm.
So the funniest comment I read
So
about
that's
this.
odd, isn't it? Or is that a false positive? It didn't seem like it.
No, he has it.
False negative, then I guess.
The funniest comment I read about this video, some guy said, he looks like my grandfather's thumb.
Whoa.
Look at his head, man. Oh my God. What can we say about this guy? He basically stands for everything that we fight against. He is spreading misinformation. He literally talks about Alex Jones, like Alex Jones has some tip on reality that the rest of us don't have.
Really?
He brings
does?
complete
Wow.
He brings complete pseudoscience bullshit onto his show. He's anti-establishment, anti-intellectual, everything. The guy represents everything that I fight against. And he's scared shitless of Steve because he wouldn't even have a conversation with Steve. He's a joke, and his audience is a perfect example of what's wrong in our nation, in the United States. How could people watch that bullshit? He's not even entertaining, in my opinion. It's not even interesting to watch. There's lots of things out there that I am against, that I can admit I'm entertained by, but I don't know. I don't think he's entertaining at all. I mean, it's super easy to have your main stance be I'm just asking the questions. Oh, but don't listen to what I say because I'm just.
It absolves him of any responsibility. There's no journalistic responsibility. It is unfortunately like the poster child for the social media, for the new media. It's like there's no editorial filter, there's no quality control. It's just some anti-intellectual dude riffing, and he's the most popular podcast in the world. Because that's the level of entertainment now that we get, and people use that entertainment for information and news, which is disastrous. That's partly feeding this whole thing.
There is a certain quality to his interviewing acumen, in terms of he can have a conversation go on for 3 hours, which is a skill, which is no question,
absolutely.
and people enjoy that. And to be honest, when there is someone on that show, especially in the past, before he kind of went off as nutty as he went, you could have a really interesting conversation with some, an actor or some kind of a director or an athlete or something, and that is a unquestioned skill that he has to be able to really have this long, extended, sort of deeper conversation. It's stuff we do all the time, but I think he has access to people that are, willing to go there. Yeah. He does remind me of this character here. Look at that. It's him. It's totally him.
It is. You're totally right, George.
Ivermectin.
Look, I look at his podcast and his audience, and from a business perspective, because I focus a lot on the SGU as a business just to keep us afloat. I'm like, wow, amazing what he did. It's fantastic. It's really awesome that a podcast could be that pervasive. But that said, within the world today, where people get audiences, average people get audiences, even a dirty comedian like Joe Rogan, can get a large audience. There is an inherent responsibility to public speaking. And this is something we take seriously. You know what I mean? Like, of course, this is the one thing we take the most serious. Like we look at it like it's a duty and an honor to do this type of thing. But Joe is not in it for any of that. He's not in it to be a good guy. He's in it to make himself money and entertain himself. and stroke his own ego, whatever it is. He's having fun. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. That's what it boils down to. He does what he does, and he doesn't think outside of that box. And I just think that people that do that, obviously, we can go all the way back to Oprah on this, and even before Oprah. But like, what kind of human beings are they? In the end, at the end of the day, what kind of people are these people?
You know what it is, Jay? It's like when you read about these multi-billionaires that, you know, Bezos could pay all of his the 80,000 Amazon employees could get paid $120,000 a year, and he still would have more money than he had before COVID hit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you go, what kind of person? What kind of person? And the thing is that the people that get to that point of having those multi-billions, or the people that get to the point of having the multi-millions and hundreds of millions of listeners and downloaders, they got there because they don't have that certain poor thing of like, oh, like how much is enough? Or maybe I should back off, or maybe I have a responsibility to present something which might be unpopular to my huge audience, which might just turn people off because it's based in the truth and doesn't provide some anti-authoritarian narrative. Like, I got to be able to say, guys, get a vaccine. I know it's not the popular thing, and I know there are people that are out there, and I might lose 7%, 12%, 18% of my audience. That's not how a guy like that is wired. The same way that Jeff Bezos isn't going to think, oh, I don't need those billions and billions of dollars, but I have to have those billions and billions because it's a numbers game to me. It's not about individuals. It's not about humans. It's not about whatever. It's just a weird numbers game. And I think with people like Oprah, I think with people like Rogan, there is this strange number thing. And that's all that matters. And to us, you know, we will never have 100 million listeners because we're incapable of doing what's necessary to get 100 million listeners. You know what I mean? Just like as humans, like Jay, like you say, what kind of human? Well, that's where it is. And it's unfortunate, but that's how it's built up.
Yeah, I guess, you know, I look at someone like him. I'm constantly looking for like the science-based superhero. You know, like there's a lot of people that are in front of a lot of huge audiences, right? On YouTube alone, like has, you know, there's 1 billion people that are watching YouTube. There's lots of people that have these tremendously huge audiences, and I'm really disappointed that there hasn't really been a very charismatic, science-minded person that is in that stock of people.
I mean, it's hard to imagine in today's world that it could even happen, just because, you know, that's not the way the public is right now. So like I think often of Dr. Oz, for example, and he did follow the George model, and I, you know, had opportunities to talk to, you know, his producers and everything, and enough to know that, you know, it's like they got to put out a certain number of shows. They got to talk about topics that are going to appeal to an audience. If you want to build your audience, you got to do the psychic show. You got to promote the nonsense. And so if you're following, there's pressure to sort of follow the money. And it's, even if you didn't go into it thinking, I'm going to be ruthless and make as much money as I can, if you're not actively resisting that, you will get pushed down that path by the people who are managing you and the media companies. Like the whole system is designed to maximize money. And so the people who are going to rise to the top are the people who follow that, whether they're pushing it initially or not. So it's absolutely, George is correct. It's absolutely self-selective. You know, somebody who went into, Dr. Oz's career path with ethics wouldn't have become Dr. Oz, would not have become that popular. And there's very few people who somehow manage to get that level of fame, where they're in the millions, while being true, intellectually true and honest.
Newscasters, the same deal. People that that are pundits, that can twist. They see the data they get, and they have to twist that data now to form their narrative.
Exactly.
So they're working totally backwards from how you should, and they're really good at it. Yeah. So they can do off the cuff 2 hours on the radio of how this thing that just happened in the news,
the outrage machine,
is going to be whatever. And then the sponsors are happy, the station's happy, the guy's booking agent is happy, and it's this self-fulfilling thing. And believe me, it's a skill, man.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
a skill to be able to take it, but you have to turn off a part of your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Tucker Carlson as a
Perfect
businessman and as a performer, like the guy is a genius.
Yeah, he gets it.
He totally like understands how to run that business and make it work for him. And again, from a business perspective, I look at these people and I'm like, oh my God, they really get it. They tapped into it and
But it's a
exploited
character.
it. Yeah.
That is as much of a character as any hero, as any fictional hero on any other TV show.
Like family and friends who they're less likely to take
What am I hearing right now?
I think you will see another bump in trends.
Is that you, Ian, or is this
I think
George?
that's Bob. Because Bob got up.
Yeah, I think Bob unplugged something.
All right.
That was Bob's TV.
Bob's doing another show right now.
George,
He's on a podcast.
That's true. And even worse than that, our politicians
Absolutely
do that.
Yeah.
Who's like, and we're seeing this in the United States right now, where this radicalization of media, especially on the right, then leads to a radicalization of the populace, and then politicians have to decide, am I going to stay true to whatever my ideals or whatever, or am I just going to tack along? So as the Republican Party basically got radicalized and shifted to the right, just reading about this today, very interesting article about how if you look at like the different factions of the Republican Party, everything basically clicked over 2 steps to the right. And now the mainstream is what used to be the fringe, the populist fringe. And politicians like Ted Cruz are like, okay, well, I guess I'm, now that's where I am. I'm
an extremist, more of an extremist now.
Well, because the world got used to it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, you guys remember 9/11, right? The airline said, hey, we're going to charge people for luggage to recoup money that we lost during the chaos of 9/11 and everything. So we're getting charged $50, $100 a bag. And guess what? We all forgot that it was supposed to be temporary. And now that's it. That's our reality. That's exactly what happened in U.S. politics. We got hit over the head with the hottest goddamn frying pan in the world, and it doesn't hurt anymore. We got used to it.
Yeah. You know what? Did you guys notice when banks stopped paying interest on savings accounts? That at some point they just said, we're not paying interest anymore on banking accounts. Remember, right when we were kids and I had a bank account, like you would make your 1% or something. It was small, but it was
more than that.
Yeah, it was like 1%, 1.5%. Now it's like 0.002%. It's nothing. Like I literally make 10 cents a year on my savings account interest. It's literally nothing. At some point, they just decided to do that. And I don't remember noticing it until long after it happened.
Yeah.
And and now it's just the industry norm. They just decided they were going to F their customers. Okay.
Yeah, I mean this is just business. I mean, this is everywhere. Cereal boxes are smaller today than they were 10 years ago. Cereal.
Well, that's
5 years
what
ago.
the hell?
That's not literally true, Jay.
It is true. Of course, it's true.
You can buy the family size. So but what actually happens
buy the normal size and pay more.
No, so this is what happens with product sizes. They keep them at the same price and downsize them. And then it gets to a certain point where they go back to the previous size and they jack up the price. And then it just cycles through. So it's a cycle, Jay. But they're always either increasing the price or decreasing the size.
Yeah.
But there isn't just a linear decrease in size with no reversal. So it's more complicated than what you're saying. But yes.
Chocolate bars,
I understand,
but just increase the price. Just leave the size the same, so I know what I'm getting. Just increase the price.
They're constantly trying to figure out how to squeeze more money out of the same thing. I mean, like I'm not anti-business at all. I'm all for it. I just feel like at everything. Like I don't know if you guys pick up on this, but my wife and I are like we're spending a lot of money just maintaining, right? Like just owning a house. It's such a money pit. Everything that we have to do in our house, we can't get someone to come into my house and fix something for less than $500.
If you remember, Jay, when you were buying your house, I told you that because I had already felt like, Jay, houses are money pits.
You did.
When you are budgeting you have to make sure that you're budgeting in, a certain amount of percentage of your salary for upkeep and maintenance. Otherwise, it's just, entropy slowly takes over your house.
Totally.
Should he have
you're totally
gotten?
right.
Should he have gotten an electric house because maintenance is cheap, is lower on an electric house? Oh wait, no, that's only for cars.
Yeah.
No, never mind.
Hey, Steve got a Tesla. That's something we should bring up.
Yeah, just
Really?
we picked up our Tesla on Wednesday.
Wow, that's
I'm
exciting.
proud of you, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm really happy you got that.
Well,
car.
it was my present to my wife for getting a PhD. So it's her car. Not that I won't be driving it occasionally, but and then
Torque, baby.
yeah, it's it really is the car of the future. Like, if you like, there's few technological changes where you really feel like this is not incremental. This is a new thing, So like the whole car is computerized. Like there's no dashboard. There's just a computer screen, right? There's no dashboard.
Right.
And everything is controlled off that computer screen. And you can control it all off your phone, which you also use as a key.
Yep.
So like she was able to just give my account permissions, and now my phone is a key to the car.
That's cool.
Somebody
So
was
cool.
pulled over in a Tesla because they thought they had their laptop open. There's like,
Oh yeah, because
The screen is huge.
a cop pulled him over, and they're like, "You can't drive with your laptop open." And he's like, "No, this is a Tesla. This is
update
that's the
your
car."
algorithm there, buddy.
Yeah,
It's been that way for years, though. He didn't realize.
It was some YouTube thing I just saw recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
my-
been
because-
older.
Because Steve and Joss got a Tesla, my wife and I we need 2 new cars. Right? We're like just thinking about how we're going to afford one. And
I'm in the market too.
We took a Tesla for a test spin because we were dying of curiosity. And, the things that people have been talking about Teslas are all true that I've heard over the years. Like, one, the acceleration is ridiculous. The
Mhm.
acceleration is
Yeah.
so fast. It's so powerful. It's such a different experience than a gas.
because
a
the torque is
gas-powered engine.
totally different. Right?
The torque
'Cause
is
it's-
phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's like race car. You feel pinned to the seat like I've never felt pinned in my entire life. It's wicked.
And just everything that you do, like they have thought out. This is Tesla. I haven't test driven any other electric vehicles, but Tesla's interface on their heads-up display is freakishly intuitive.
Yeah, it's
When
very
we-
intuitive.
When we
Very
were
well
in the
thought out.
car, the woman is telling me, "This is how you do." I mean, I just start doing things, and it all like seems like I already knew it. Like, how do you go from drive to reverse? It was super intuitive. How do you change what you're looking at on the heads-up display to go to the maps versus playing music versus all the other things that are built into it? You don't have to think. It is the exact execution of the book "Don't Make Me Think," which is a book about human
Yeah.
interfaces. I keep bringing that up because it's a fascinating concept of the more a person has to spend time thinking about what they need to do next, the less efficient they are.
Yeah, I read that whole book and it just pissed me off
Yeah.
because of all the instances where software and companies and whatever are not, abiding by those principles. It's like, damn it. This is
Yeah.
like,
Why
come
don't
on.
they
And the book's like from the 1990s. Like we figured this out 30 freaking years ago.
I know.
What did you get, Steve? Which model?
The Model 3,
The 3. Cool.
which is the cheapest one. That's the only one I can
Yeah.
afford. But
What color? Do you get to pick a color? Or?
yeah, so it's white or blue, and it
Yeah.
costs $1,000 to get red. So we didn't get red; we got blue.
Okay.
Yeah,
Doesn't that blow your mind? Yeah, when we went, like white was free and every other color cost money. Which
I think it was just the red that cost the more money.
Have you
I
noticed
tested-
that? Talk about slow creep. Like every car now is silver, white, red, or black,
Yeah, I know.
or sometimes blue. But like,
I was talking about that with Josh. We were driving on the road. Like, look at the colors of the cars; they're all so narrow.
so narrow.
Find me an orange car, a yellow car, a green
Like
car. There's no
they
green
exist.
cars.
They exist.
They
but
exist.
Boy,
It's
you go to a parking lot,
99%. It's
go to a
and it
parking
makes it
lot
harder
somewhere.
to find your
Yeah.
car.
Totally. It's all
Kia
silver
has a
gray.
green car. Yeah, you're right, George. Though you're totally right.
It's amazing.
You have to
because
beat
they
your
know
horn.
it'll sell. Because
Yeah.
they know you have to get that. Again, going to like knowing your market, right? If you have a bright green car, it's not going to get off the lot until the bright green car guy shows up. Whereas if you have a silver car, most people are like, yeah, okay. Black,
Yeah.
okay. I'll I get the silver Honda Fit thing, which was like, yeah. I mean, I would have loved a blue thing because blue is my favorite, but it's like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's marketing.
I would
Lowest common
totally buy
denominator.
an orange car. I would totally be that guy.
Orange? God no.
It's my
How
favorite
about
color.
burnt umber? I would buy a burnt umber
Mm.
car.
How
So
about
I
egg,
test
egg
drove
crew?
the Model Y, which is their SUV styled kind of car. 'Cause
Yeah.
Court and I have kids, and we're like, let's test drive the one. You know, of course, it's like $60-something thousand. I mean, I couldn't spend that kind of money if my life depended on it right now. But
Well, if your life depended on it,
but man,
I'd loan you the money if your life depended on it.
the dashboard on a Tesla has nothing.
Yeah, it's
There's
just
a
a
screen.
screen.
There's no vent. There's no knobs. There's
The
no
vent
buttons.
is hidden in the dashboard.
vent?
Jay. It's there. There's a vent.
No, there is a vent. It's completely hidden.
But hidden.
It's hidden.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
When you
it's
look
there.
at the dashboard, it just looks like the top thing that touches the windshield comes down to the
So
other
like
part.
you can wipe it down simply, like you don't have to worry
Oh,
about
yeah.
nooks and crannies and all
Nothing.
that.
Nothing. Very, very
Wow.
interesting.
Very clean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
so
feels
there's definitely an aesthetic. Again, it's the car of the future, both aesthetically, functionality. Because it's electric, it's all computerized. You could just, program when you want it to recharge. So now I had to learn about all of the recharging etiquette, do a deep dive on that. Not that much, but there's a few things you got to know about how to optimally preserve your battery life, and like a couple of things you really shouldn't do so you don't brick your battery. But
Like what?
don't leave it completely empty for a long period of time. Like don't go on vacation and leave it unplugged, so that it because that's bad for the car. You always want it to be like between 20 and 90% charge.
That's
How's
But
the
anyway,
trunk?
there's-
Is there a good trunk size on the
The
thing?
trunk is immense.
Wow.
It's immense, and you got a frunk because
There's a front too.
Yes.
there's a frunk because
Love it.
There's no engine.
there's no engine in there. It's like,
It's the bed. Yeah.
it's very small. Yeah, so you got more room.
It's
and, like,
really
there's
cool.
nothing-
How big is the frunk? Like what's
It's like it's small,
Is it
but
flat?
it's there. It's like if you imagine like when you open up the trunk of your car,
yeah.
imagine the front half of that being a trunk, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but the trunk is deep and
Yeah.
immense, and it's got even a deeper thing underneath where we keep the
Right.
adapters for all of the non-Tesla recharging stations, which is nice.
Spare.
Yeah, it's just I haven't found the spare. It's probably under
Is
there
it a donut
somewhere.
or is it a spare?
I haven't
know.
seen it.
Wow.
I don't know.
wonder. It must be a
And
full
check
size.
this out, George. When I was talking to it's not even a salesman, because you can't in Connecticut you can't buy the car directly. You're going to
Connecticut has some stupid law where they
Really?
don't allow you can't purchase the Tesla in Connecticut. We had to go over
What?
to New York to pick up the car.
because
What's
the
the rationale?
Tesla doesn't have dealers, and in Connecticut you can
You
only buy
have to
car
have a
from-
You
dealer.
have to have
Right.
a dealer.
So
That's how they get you.
check this out. She was like, you're not going to have to change your brake pads for a very long time. Why? Why? I asked her why.
Because
She
of
goes,
regenerative braking.
because you won't be really using the brake anymore.
Right.
You take your foot off the gas, and the thing immediately slows down right with your foot coming off the gas.
That
because-
surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah,
So weird.
it doesn't roll. It
But
doesn't, like,
that depends on the speed of the car, Jay. If you're
Oh.
if you're driving highway speeds, you do coast more. If you're driving around city speeds,
I would hope, yeah.
it does behave that way.
you would
So-
know
Makes
better
sense.
than me, but yeah.
Are there like do you have lower gears like for
No.
hills
Nope.
or anything?
There's
Like,
no
it's-
gear.
It's
There's no
just
gears.
go. It's just drive.
Yes, it's like reverse, park, new and drive.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really
That's it.
cool, George. You should just go test drive one just to check it out. It really is a
Yeah.
very,
yeah.
very. It's a
Well, when you
massive
George,
technology upgrade.
when you're up in Connecticut tomorrow, we'll let you drive it.
Oh yeah, there you go. Duh.
I just want to. Yeah. I just want to
Yeah,
see the
we'll get a-
frunk.
We'll get a
Yeah.
few road beers. We'll drive around.
And why am I coming up tomorrow, boys?
Because we
Just
have
to hang
work
out?
do.
Should we
We have work
to watch
to
Forbidden
do.
Planet? Make fun
No,
of Forbidden
no,
Planet?
no. Strip poker.
We're going
Oh.
to. We are doing
What?
a live stream tomorrow of the SGU podcast that we're sending to Derek for Dragon Con, because this was going to be the
Oh.
show that we do at Dragon Con.
Fun.
We should
but
be at
George-
Dragon Con right now.
I know we would be there right now. We would be. Forget
Can you
it.
imagine though, guys, if we were in an airport with that
I know.
storm and everything? Can you
No,
imagine?
Bob, we would not be at Dragon Con. We would be in
Seriously.
Atlanta hospital with COVID. That's where we would be.
Yes.
Yes.
Let alone out of the airport. Like Thursday afternoon, I was like, oh my God, I was supposed to be in in Atlanta. Like, oh, this is just so much better that we're not. Because it would have been awful. Wednesday
And we
night packing in the storm. No,
Oh, I
thank
know.
you.
Forget it. Forget it. It's so
Yeah.
weird. There's been very few times in my life where I've canceled a trip, right? And there's this weird thing that happens to me. Like I cancel the trip, and then when the time comes that the trip would have happened, I always get this weird like sense, like there. I don't know, like not like
You're supposed
oh
to
my
be
God,
doing something.
Yeah, like I had this weird feeling, like I shouldn't be here. I'm not supposed to be here. You know, I get like a discomfort for some reason about it.
Yeah.
Like the anticipation. I mean, we 2 weeks ago we thought we were going. You know, I was like all set to go. Anyway, George, tomorrow at
Yes.
9 p.m.
9
Eastern
p.m.
time.
Eastern time.
We're
Wait, I
doing
think we have something for
The
that.
next episode of Boomer versus
Whoa.
Zoomer will happen on this date.
George.
Wow, that transition though.
Yeah, go to boomervzoomer.com. Hey guys, do us
Let me
a
just say
favor.
how perfect was the square that I drew
I know.
I mean,
It was awesome.
That, George.
And you
was
have to
kinda-
re-record that every time.
yes,
You ever-
right.
I heartily endorse this event or product.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
everybody
Welcome
listening,
to the first
uh,
event of the time.
The square wasn't angled at all.
No. it's
do
perfect.
me a favor, everybody listening to this. Please go to the what's our
I'll
URL?
put the
for-
link in the chat. So yeah, there's a couple things. If you want to be a contestant, not for tomorrow, but for in the future, there is a here's the website, boomervzoomer.com. There's a form you can fill out that.
Yes, go ahead.
But also, if you could go ahead and subscribe on YouTube, that way you get a notification. Also on Facebook and on Twitch, if you Zoomers are watching on Twitch. Here, I'll post all the links here for everybody.
9 p.m. here. That is, what time is that in the UK? That is
They 7 hours ahead.
4 a.m.
Mhm.
Right?
It'll be, if you can't catch it, it'll be available on YouTube.
It'll be on the YouTube there, yeah.
But I am specifically asking you guys to do us a favor and go to our YouTube channel and hit the bell and register because we need your help.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why
Like,
next week.
subscribe, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
et cetera.
subscribe, please. There's
I'll
a
put
real
the
reason
YouTube
why.
link again. One second.
If you haven't seen the game, you might have seen an earlier version that we did last year. It's a totally redesigned game. There's 4 contestants, 4 generations go up against each other. Jay and Steve and Brian Wecht are the quiz masters. They have to go up against contestants at some point. It's a really, really fun time. Please tune in. Get your friends to tune in. We have some great contestants coming up as well. Oh, it's going to be a thing.
It's a ton of fun.
They're calling Steve right now. They're saying, hey,
It is not just boomers and zoomers.
it's
That
not
is,
just boomers and zoomers. Yeah, Gen
that is
X.
just
Now
because
with
I-
millennials.
The
now
millennials.
millennials and Gen X.
So 4
Exoomers, as they
generations.
call
4
them.
generations from
Yeah.
was it 60 and older all the way to 18 to 25.
Yeah.
It's very
Boomer,
exciting.
Zoomer, Moomer,
Everyone alive, basically.
Exoomer.
Everyone alive.
So, Ian, why don't you put the quiz link out there because we have
Oh.
to stop tonight at 6 p.m., which is in 15 minutes. So we'll talk a little bit and then we'll do the quiz. And I have a fun quiz for you guys tonight. It's all about pseudoscience.
Let's do it.
Well, wait. Everybody has got to get the link and get themselves linked up here.
Let's hear some more from Joe Rogan first.
Yeah.
We're back.
And I got COVID.
I got COVID. I just got COVID. Turns out I got.
Wait, let me draw on my thumb. I'll do it really
There you
quick.
go. Yeah.
Drawing your thumb.
Well, while Jay's doing that, I'll address a random question from Tadpole. Bob, are
Very
you
good.
familiar with Warhammer 40K? Yeah, I am. I'm actually aware of the aesthetic and that it's a game. And what I really love about Warhammer 40K is that the models and the figures they're just like diabolically beautiful. It's a combination of technology with demonology and warfare is one way I would describe it. I almost bought some of the models many times because they're just so wicked and evil and cool. But yeah, so I'm aware of it, and one of these days I might get some figurines and some figures and models and put them together.
Ivermectin is.
Okay, it was only 5 questions, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, the wrestling.
Oh,
it's-
COVID. I got COVID.
Oh my gosh, there's double Joe.
Double Joes.
God.
You should do it on your toe. You could be Toe Rogan.
Oh, there's a YouTube channel.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
Joe Rogan.
Seriously.
20%.
Just
Hit
like
that
use
link out there
use
again,
his
Ian.
audio, and then just have the. Oh my god.
Here's the link: darkenergy.games. Energy.games, as you all know, and we have a private link. Don't
George,
forget
what are you
that.
doing this weekend?
Sorry, again, darkenergy.games.
Apart from making you guys all look good on the YouTubes.
Yeah, what are you doing Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday I'm. It's not so much what I'm doing Sunday. It's what I'm doing next Sunday, Jay. What am I doing next Sunday? And Sunday coming up, I have to get ready for next Sunday.
What's next Sunday?
Next Sunday, I'm doing a half Ironman in Atlantic City.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's really cool, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what's that? Like a copper man?
It's yeah. Well, if you go half iron, it should be aluminum. So yeah, it should be aluminum. Yeah.
Good for you, George.
Yeah. 1.2 mile swim, 56-mile bike, 13-mile run.
That's pretty.
And then I eat New Jersey.
Yes.
I go to every Italian place in Jersey and just say, I'll have one of each.
One, please.
I'll have the lot.
I'll have the lot.
That's right, yeah.
Mix it up in a bucket.
So I got some big bike
Great
rides to
scene,
do
man.
on Sunday.
Over the
Don't
top.
skimp on the pate.
It's wafer thin.
That's awesome, George.
So
I
we'll
have
see.
to
Yeah.
iron
So
man.
Good for you, brother.
Actually, I got at 6:00. I got to go do my second 5-miler today. The weather's been so great though. This is since the storm.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, right.
It has been.
Yeah,
this
right.
morning was like, oh, it was beautiful.
That weather that you experienced, George, that used to be summer in New England.
Yeah.
No longer
Yeah.
though.
Now it's a 20-minute fall.
Yeah,
I definitely feel fall coming in, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
definitely. All right, Ian, where are we?
We have about 167 people in there. Again, darkenergy.games. Everybody get in there.
Sign up, people.
we got some stuff.
Well, if we got a couple minutes, George, I
Yeah.
have so much more respect for Bethlehem Steel right now. I saw a documentary on it, and I was amazed. Bethlehem Beam. This is a place that if in what, the 30s, 40s, 50s, I think they were going for a while. I think that maybe even 2000 was that
The,
right?
the last shift ended 96.
So
1996
imagine-
was the last night shift.
okay,
and then
now imagine this.
2002 was the last business thing. Yeah.
Think of the Manhattan skyline.
Yep.
That steel, they made like 80%. They provided 80% of the steel in the Manhattan skyline. They were critical. They were critical for the war effort in the 40s. I mean,
They were making a
just
battleship a day in the middle of
Oh,
World War
wow.
II. There was a point. There was like a 6-month point where
Amazing.
they had enough steel to make a battleship a day. It's astonishing. Those workers, the people that were in there,
Yep.
the conditions they worked in.
It was horrible conditions, and
my gosh.
their contribution. Imagine a lot of the major, the major buildings in our country, much of Manhattan,
Bridges,
the war effort,
buildings.
Yes, Golden
Yeah.
Gate.
Yep. Yeah.
Incredible.
Golden Gate,
I
of all-
didn't
of all
know.
the bridges. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's Bethlehem was. Pittsburgh is known as the story of Steel Town, but Bethlehem, that
Dude.
plant at its mass was 5 miles long, and
Yep.
it was just producing the stuff. And now it's this beautiful repurposed entertainment place. It's got theater and an outdoor space, and we're
And
actually
it
doing.
looks wicked. It
it's
looks
gorgeous. They
wonderful.
did
The way
such a
they
great job.
lit that up and everything.
But they brought workers back, when they did the grand opening for this thing, and it's called the Hoover Mason Trestle, which is like this built platform that walks through the old steel stacks, and there's historic stuff set up about it and everything, and it's great. And they brought these old workers back that are like in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And the one guy, like, he couldn't fathom how quiet it was. He said, if you had stood here in the midst of everything while it was working, you had to have ear protection, and you had to have whatever the version of their ear protection was at the time, that you could sit there and you could hear a bird singing. He was like, the fact that I can be this close to the steel mill and hear a bird, I just can't fathom how this is even possible.
Wow.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it was fascinating little 15-minute documentary. I recorded it. I wanted to show you
Oh,
guys.
cool.
So cool.
George, I love that you love your town.
I do, man. I
it's
really,
beautiful.
I moved here, to go to college here, and I kind of never left. And I feel like it's like grown up with me in a way, because when it was, there's chunks of town that when I was in school, like, you just didn't go to, you avoided. I remember like running back to my dorm one night after watching a show on the South Side. It was like, I gotta get out of here. And now we've all grown up together, and just the restaurants and the art community, and it's really killer. It's really killer. And now that Kira's going to be on city council, it's like I got a very close friend is going to be on a city council member. It's super cool.
So she'll take care of all those parking tickets for you.
Oh my God, yeah, forget about it.
Yeah.
I'm parking
about
like
it.
in the middle of Wegmans in the deli section.
All right, let's go.
All right. So when I say click, we're going to hit that synchronize button. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, click.
Circumcised.
Nope.
0, baby.
Little snip, snip.
I hear a baby.
You hear nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Not a baby. It's a baby.
Baby.
Right, Bob?
Yeah.
So George, not a fan of Forbidden Planet.
It's not a fan. I just wouldn't say it's one of the best sci-fi movies of all time.
Yeah, I gotta agree with George. On that.
Yeah, I'm not-
The pejorative is the pejorative. The superlative is the question I have about it, because it's just a lot of that stuff is.
Yeah, I'm not a
Clearly,
big,
Plan 9 from Outer Space is the best.
Clearly.
sci-fi movie.
I mean, we love sci-fi. I'm not a big fan of any of the 50s science fiction because it's, it's 1950s. It's very unsophisticated and goofy and stuff. But Forbidden Planet was a step above any of that. It's my favorite. If I had to pick a favorite from the 50s, it would
What
be
year
that
is
for
Forbidden
sure.
Planet? What year is that?
I don't know,
57?
mid 50s.
57, 58, right? Well, just a decade later, you get 2001. So
Right.
it's
Yeah,
kind of like,
yeah.
guys,
It was a
Right.
total transformation.
that's what I mean.
Absolutely.
It's like it was within, it's the same people, right? It's not like
No, it's not. It's not George though.
no, but
because-
generationally, I mean, though,
Yeah, well, yeah, the watchers, not the movie makers. I mean,
right?
you're stepping into something that I'm very interested in.
Yes.
Stanley Kubrick transformed the science fiction genre with 2001.
It was a
Right.
joke.
So
It
it's
was
not
kind of
really a
joke.
fair comparison because he really did. I mean, he transformed it. It was a different genre because of 2001.
Right.
Yeah.
He just did things that no other movie maker had done before him. And whereas Forbidden Planet was pretty much the pinnacle of the retro sci-fi, flying saucer robots, what we consider to be that era. That was maybe the pinnacle of that era. But yeah, there was a complete transition, with 2001. The other one in the retro, 40s, 50s science fiction movies that I still love to watch is the original. No. War of the Worlds.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
yes.
I mean, yes,
watchable.
totally campy. Yes, like it's protected by some kind of blister. It's
Protective
like, you mean a
blister.
force field? But yeah, and of course, in all these movies, like women are just just ornaments and damsels to be saved, right? I mean it's although in Forbidden Planet, the female character was more feisty, which I like, but still, at the end of the day, she was a damsel in distress.
But
now, is Forbidden Planet an original script, or is that based on something?
It's based on Shakespeare's The Tempest.
No, I know that, but there's no novel source or anything, right?
I don't think there was, George. I don't think there was.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think
because
so.
War of the Worlds, you have that pretty cool. It basis in terms of its. I mean, doesn't take place in the 19th century like the book does, but there is that sort of narrative thing, and that's the vision of. It's not Jules Verne; it's the other guy. It's who wrote War of the Worlds. Not Jules Verne.
Yeah.
Help us out, chat. Who wrote War of the Worlds?
Wink Martin.
I'm just blanking on the name. I freaking know it.
Wink Martindale. Yes. George. No.
Yeah. George. No, not George Orwell. H.G. Wells.
Thank you.
H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells' brilliance kind of comes across in that film. Yeah, H.G. Wells. Invermectin.
All right, let's see. We got 5 minutes of 6. Let's get started.
All right, here we go.
And away
we go.
Did it start? Yes. What is emotional freedom techniques?
Jeez.
Using body movements to overcome emotional trauma. The use of bells to free a patient's mind from emotional pain and trauma. Tapping acupuncture points to improve psychological problems. Using aromatherapy to expand one's consciousness and sense of well-being.
True.
And
It's all true. It all works.
We were asked to
I never
read the
heard of
answer
that.
at the end for the audio listeners.
Yes, thank you, Ian. Ian's going to read all the
I'll
answers.
remember that. I think everybody should be able to see it now-ish. I'll wait a little bit more.
Oh my
It is
God.
tapping acupuncture points to improve psychological problems.
I would have bet money that was just made up.
So this
No.
is apparently a
That's-
form of counseling intervention that draws on various theories of alt med, including acupuncture, neuro-linguistic programming,
Yep, total
thought field
nonsense.
therapy.
So it's acupuncture. It's really acupuncture.
Not really, except you just tap. It's just tapping
ac-
therapy.
It's
Acupuncture.
tapping, you know.
Acupuncture.
All right,
Using-
next
you-
question.
All right,
Acu
who
tapping.
invented chiropractic? Clarence Selmer Gonstead, maybe? Daniel David Palmer, Jack LaLanne. I didn't mean to laugh. Dr.
I meant to laugh.
I thought it was Stephen Chiropractic.
Right.
I love
Lied to.
the idea, just the idea that someone invented chiropractic.
Oh, look, we're getting spam.
Out of whole
baby.
cloth.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
getting spammed. I
That's
saw
fine.
that.
Subluxation? That sounds good.
Oh, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Hot
Dee Dee
girls
Palmer.
and boys. Oh, awesome.
Oh, I mean, you know.
Hey, man. I
And
could
the
use a
answer
good
is-
chat.
And the answer is, whoops, sorry, I was banning
really?
people. Daniel David Palmer.
But of course.
What did I give you there for extra info? Yeah.
Daniel David Palmer is widely credited with giving the first chiropractic adjustment in 1895. He also established the first chiropractic school in 1897 in Davenport, Iowa, in a cornfield. What is this device? Psychograph,
Can barely see it.
telecrest, phrenoscope, or a mental stimulator?
What are we looking at?
There's an image.
I don't know. You might not be able to see it on the back. Well,
I can
should
see
be
it.
Similar.
can
You
see
can
it.
see it. Okay.
I could see it, but it's tiny.
I got to ask Frank to let us click on it and see the image full
Yeah,
size.
it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
George.
Capital idea. Of course, it's a good idea.
Of course, it's a good idea.
And it is a psychograph.
Really? That's not a phrenoscope?
I was saying phrenoscope.
So,
Me too.
I made up the word phrenoscope.
oh, so the
Yeah.
psychograph
Oh, but it's
was a
probably is
phrenology.
phrenology.
It
You
is.
Just called
It's
it a
phrenology
psychograph.
That's why I
machine.
came up with
You
Invented
bastard.
in
Good
March.
Done.
job, Jay. Good job.
By Henry
Jay.
C. Lavery.
What do you think
Phrenoscope.
What do you think of the telecrest?
I like
so
that.
much fun.
So it's
Phrenoscope.
okay.
I knew I was going to get people with phrenoscope. I knew
You
it.
have to. We have to sell SGU. What is it? Telecrests and phrenoscopes.
Yes.
We should really have
Um,
those available.
okay.
All
here's
right,
the
come on, I'm
next
going to
one.
read this question.
What is iridology?
Jeez.
Drinking either one's own undiluted urine and homeopathic potions of urine for treatment of a wide variety of diseases. To body manipulation claimed by practitioners to be capable of ridding the body of traumatic memories stored in the muscles. The practice of using very weak magnets to fill fields to positively influence health. Means of medical diagnosis, which proponents believe can identify and diagnose health problems that are through close examination of markings and patterns of the iris.
Iris.
Oh,
Wow.
Kinda
Nice.
messed
That's
up.
too
done.
many words. Too many words.
sorry.
Yeah.
I should have shortened those.
You
Yeah,
got
who
to
cares?
pithy eyes.
Make them longer. I'll do it. I'll do it in a breath.
So what's the answer?
I don't know.
Iris.
Why are you asking me?
Yeah.
Iris.
Yeah, means of medical diagnosis which proponents believe can identify and diagnose health problems through close examination of the markings and patterns of the iris.
That's that
There's-
song. When Iris eyes are smiling.
Ah, very good.
There's tons of pseudoscience revolved around like,
No.
you know, look at this thing and this part of the body, and it'll tell you about the rest of the body.
hmm
It's metaphor.
What is the device being used in this image? Sonic screwdriver, sonical therapy unit, electrotherapeutic cage, cranial reverb modulator, Flonetics aura stabilizer.
That's my strip name.
Flonetics.
Yeah, baby.
Flonetics Aura Stabilizer. Welcome to the stage, Flonetics Aura Stabilizer, ladies and gentlemen.
I like the
Give it up
reverb
now.
modulator.
And the answer is electrotherapeutic cage.
Yeah.
So in the early 1900s were crackery, wow, quackery, but also in the 1900s. Okay, quackery was rampant. Electrotherapy was a rising medical field. Patients would sit in the cage, and high-frequency electric currents would pass through the auto-conduction electrotherapeutic cage. Interesting. It's like a
Yes,
reverse
sit
Faraday
in-
cage.
They'd sit in this cage, and it would make an electrical field that they could feel. But of course, it did nothing because it's harmless in that form. And it, it was a heal all, cure all, heal all, do
What if
everything you want.
What if you touch the cage?
I don't think you got hurt. It was very low.
Just don't touch the ground.
Yeah.
No
You
amps.
instantly drop dead.
Zip, zip. That'll fix it.
Cured
And your-
everything.
And your
Yeah.
problem
Even
would go
life.
away.
Yeah.
Cured
So
Cured
what did you
life.
guys think of the quiz tonight? I could do.
It was
more
good. I
with
liked
good.
it.
It was good because it was.
I got 80%. You got me on the friggin' phrenoscope because I knew that was phrenology.
Steve, I got you on phrenoscope. I love it. Oh, I love it.
I got a D-.
Oh, wait,
I
let
don't
me
even see the results
hit
yet.
stop the game. Sorry. Here it comes. Bada boom.
Bada bing.
River Stalker.
Rivers.
Only
River
4
Stalker.
100s.
Nice.
That's a lot of people. Let's take a look at
Federal,
the individual
ICAC,
questions.
Rook,
What the hell?
Stebham, and PSXer. Oh no,
Mm.
PSXer was 80. You lose. Good day, sir.
So 56% of the people got
Whoa.
what EFT is. Who invented chiropractic? 62% got that one right. What is this device? Psychograph. Most people answered phrenoscope.
Yeah,
Nice
you got a lot of
job,
people.
Jay.
Thank you, reality. I'm going to eat more tonight and celebrate. What is
Nah.
iridology? 57% got it right. So that's good. You guys did good tonight. And most people got the electrotherapeutic cage.
Someone make a shirt for Jay that says phrenoscope on it, please.
Phrenoscope.
Friendoscope.
Just that. Just phrenoscope. Just no explanation.
All right, guys, it's 6 o'clock. Everybody's
6
got
o'clock.
plans tonight. So
Yep.
we're all going to go. George, good luck with your exercise.
Your 5 whatever run you got to
Thank
do.
you.
5 mile or 5K?
5 mile.
5 mile.
Yeah, I did a 5 this morning, do a 5 tonight, and then tomorrow morning do a 26-mile bike ride before
What
I
is
come
this?
see you kids.
Then we'll see you tomorrow night.
Who is this guy? Hold on a second. Slow down.
Yeah, I
What-
saw
what
that
is this
too.
guy? What is this?
He's a religious person, I think.
Ian, can you just block him out?
Who?
Who's this?
That
He's spamming
person
us.
is spamming
Oh,
about
About
energy and God and
block
stuff.
block
Yeah.
him forever.
Who the hell
Very
would
good.
do shit like that? Really, have nothing better to do on a Friday night than spam people who are having a good time. Get a life. Jesus Christ.
He's helping. He's helping. He or she is helping. I don't want to guess the pronoun, but they are helping, Jay. They're
Yeah.
doing their best.
Doing their
we should-
best to be an asshole
should
and
take it as a
ruin people
compliment.
having fun.
They
They're,
think
they're
gonna
helping
have
our
their-
algorithm. They're adding
Yeah.
views.
That's
Yeah.
There's that.
There is that. All right.
But
Thank
bye-bye.
you for that.
Boomer versus
Terrible.
Zoomer tomorrow night.
Boomer.
A live
These
SGU
are- Right.
show tomorrow. So Jay, the show starts at 6, right? We're doing the show from 6 to 8, and then BBZ at
Right.
9. Is that how
That's
it's
BBZ
working?
at
correct.
9.
That's
Correct.
correct.
It's
All
the
right.
Dragon Con show, but virtual.
Live long and prosper, everyone.
Right.
Live
Joe
long and
Rogan says
perspire.
have a good weekend.
Right.
I got COVID.
Ivermectin
Oh,
code.
Jogan.
I don't feel good.
I'm gonna get some.
I'm just gonna let this. play out.
Right? Thanks, Ian.
Okay,
And we're out. Skeptic's Guide to the Universe is produced by SGU Productions, dedicated to promoting science and critical thinking. For more information, visit us at theskepticsguide.org. Send your questions to info@theskepticsguide.org. And if you would like to support the show and all the work that we do, go to patreon.com/skepticsguide and consider becoming a patron and becoming part of the SGU community. Our listeners and supporters are what make SGU possible.